Hey guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. This is the match review of UCD and Waterford in the promotion relegation playoff. We did a match day vlog, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. Waterford fans were fantastic. Really good on the night. Disappointing for them in the end, obviously, but they're really good. They travelled in good numbers and created a very good atmosphere in the game, despite things not going their way, to be fair. So, yeah, on to the game itself, guys. And obviously UCD winning 1-0. Tommy Lonergan's header from a free kick from Alex Nolan on 13 minutes in the game. And yeah, I mean, it was a game whereby a lot of people felt Waterford might win this comfortably. I never felt that. I did feel that they might snatch it, but I wasn't overly confident either, I have to say. I wasn't hugely confident that they snatched it. I thought there was definitely a chance. I highlighted that in the preview show that UCD could go through and it would be tight. It certainly was tight. When UCD took the lead, thanks to Tommy Lonergan, real danger man for them as well, isn't he, this season? Second part of the season especially. I felt at that point it was going to be very difficult for Waterford. In the game itself, though, Waterford did start well, to be fair, in the game. It was quite open start, actually. And, you know, a lot of the time they're getting the ball to Patterson, the left-hand side, and he was causing problems. He was getting crosses into the box, was left foot, beating his man. And there was a bit of space there, and you thought, yeah, they've started well, Waterford here. But UCD did have a chance before the Lonergan goal as well, and so the warning sign was kind of there. But after they went 1-0 up, UCD, I felt they really controlled it for the next 15 minutes. I thought Waterford got ragged in that time, and I felt at that point, if anyone was going to score, it was going to be UCD. They were more likely to get a second goal than Waterford were getting an equaliser. And they did have some chances, to be fair, to make it 2-0 as well. But as I said, at that point, Waterford were very ragged, giving the ball away very cheaply in midfield, not really sure, started to panic a little bit. And look, they looked like a team that the occasion got to them in that first half. Obviously, 1-0 UCD at halftime. Second half, Waterford did try and play with a bit more tempo, tried to get the ball more. Junior started coming into the game a lot more in the second half and so showed some lovely touches, lovely skill. But I felt from a Waterford point of view, I did feel that a lot of the time was a case of get the ball to Junior, which, look, there's nothing wrong with trying to get the ball to your best players. But get the ball to Junior, get the ball to Patterson, and hope to beat 3 or 4 players and score from 25 yards in the top corner, kind of a thing. That's the way it felt like there. There was no real backup. I know Dara Power did try, to be fair, on his side to back up Patterson, to be fair, he did. But in general, as a team unit, I don't think they had enough backup. The midfield, Keith, Griffin, and El Neze as well. They never really backed up the play. They were happy almost to give it to the likes of Junior Patterson and hope they done something magical with it. Yeah, those players are capable. We talked about in the preview show. They're capable of pulling, a game out of a bag and doing something spectacular or a bit of individual magic. But you can't plan to rely on that happening in a game. And from that point of view, it's disappointing from Waterford. Wasim often was isolated. Now, he didn't play great, but he was isolated as well. A lot of crosses going into the box from Sabawale in particular, and at times Power as well. And they needed someone to break into the box. It never really happened. The likes of Griffin or even Junior in that sense, and Patterson, because they were picking up deep a lot of the time. So Wasim was kind of isolated for a lot of that. And then later on in the game, from a Waterford perspective, we'll get into UCD in a minute. They brought Uche on, which I think they needed to do alongside Wasim there. And I felt it's funny because we're getting those crosses into the box when Wasim was isolated, but later on in the game, they threw Baptista up top as well. And later on, slightly again, Cantwell went up top as well. But instead of trying to get the ball wide and get crossed into the box, so the likes of Baptista, Cantwell, Uche even, he's a small player, but could attack, they just started to lump long balls from the centre of the pitch, deep, aimless, often without the head up. And unfortunately for me, that comes from the manager. I honestly think it comes from the manager. And I don't know, that's something Waterford might look at going into next season. But from UCD's point of view, I thought they were very well coached. I think Andy Myler deserves serious credit, by the way. He lost his father earlier on in the year. A lot of people thought they'd be cut adrift in 10th place. They managed to catch Finn Harps. They took 10 points off Finn Harps and ultimately finished ahead of them. Now, they had one game to win the playoff. That's the problem with the first division teams. You know, they've a couple of games to actually, they've 3 games technically to actually win and get into the Premier Division. I just thought they were well set. I think they probably really studied that Shelbourne game in depth, and I think they set up well because at times UCD can be quite open. We know that, and they play good football. But I think Sam Todd and Keeney in the back were exceptional for UCD. Sam Todd particularly led by example in the game. I think I did give a match man the match rather in the match day vlog, and you know he really led by example. It was a brilliant performance by Todd. I thought the midfield worked very hard in front, the likes of Brennan, Caffrey, etc. Defensively, but also on the ball and going forward. And I thought they looked better in the midfield than Waterford did, to be honest with you. A bit more control, calm, composure. But Myler deserves serious credit for keeping this UCD team in the division. And from his point of view, I'm delighted for him, actually. Fantastic job by Andy Myler. I just felt on the day they were better coached. They looked a better coached team than Waterford. And Waterford ran out of ideas, a bit like they did against Shelbourne, the RSC. I just feel like Danny Searle hasn't done a bad job at all at Waterford, but just feel when it's come to crunch moments, he's been beaten on the line. In my personal opinion, he's been beaten on the line. And it'll be interesting to see what Waterford do going forward there, because obviously, you know, they have they're investing in the club. They really want to push on next season. They're not taking the mickey here, like they're no mugs. So they look at every avenue, I'm sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But UCD, honestly, serious credit to them on winning that match and staying in the Premier Division. And they'll be up against it again next year. But look, they'll love that. They'll relish that. It'll be interesting to see now. I'm not sure what players. It's always awkward to know which players, you know, are finished courses or not, etc., are going to be finished courses in the summer, because you have to bear in mind they lost Kerrigan in the summer and obviously Whelan through injury, but Yarrow as well. And they still kicked on. I have been saying the last number of weeks that UCD have been playing better. They were only really, in my opinion, destroyed, if you like, once in the league this season against Derry City. So I always felt the narrative that Waterford may destroy them a little bit strange, to be honest. I mean, UCD have been playing a better calibre of opponent week in, week out in the Premier Division. Waterford had good cup results against the likes of St Patrick's League and Dundalk. No doubt about that. But it does make a difference a lot of the time. But Waterford will be bitterly disappointed because obviously 2 seasons in a row losing to UCD in the relegation playoff. They'll be bitterly disappointed with that. And you know, the fact that they missed a penalty after Cantwell got sent off there in the last minute through Junior. Now you'd have to question the referee there, Rob Harvey. Bizarre decision. The Waterford players don't even protest, and you'd be protesting for everything in the last minute, even if you're wrong. But never a penalty in a million years. But Junior stood up. I feel for him, to be honest with you. Young lad, only 22. I feel for him because that's tough. He misses the penalty and the sails over the bar, and it was an opportunity for Waterford. That's going to sting for a while and hurt. But these things happen in football as well, and you just have to get to the next game, get to the next season, whatever. These things happen. But ultimately, at the same time, I think UCD were the better side. Waterford technically didn't do enough in the game to warrant even bringing it to extra time. So you have to look at the whole picture as well from that point of view. But Waterford, look, it's going to be an interesting challenge in the first division next year with Galway as well. And I don't think those teams can't afford not to go up next season. I'd be pretty certain one of them will win the league, but you know yourself, guys, the playoffs, it's a very difficult one to navigate. So it's possible one of those will be in the first division after next season again. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Waterford do in the close season. UCD obviously have great players coming through, young players. And I think now they'll be able to keep most of that squad, certainly to the summer anyway, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if some of those mature and even start the season with a bit more confidence next season than they would have, say, this season. So I think UCD will actually be stronger next season as well, by the way. It'll be a stronger Premier Division. I do think they'll be stronger. But yeah, look, commiserations for Waterford. It is a tough one to take, very tough one to take. A lot of good people down there. I've met quite a few good people from Waterford and very welcoming, very nice people, great footballing people. It's disappointing, it really is. But from UCD's point of view, you can't take it away from them. They deserve to win it and they deserve to be in the Premier Division. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel even. If you haven't already, hit your bell notification button so you know when we upload a video. And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. Check out the matchday vlog. See you later.